Hello, everybody, and welcome to the DECA Dialogues. We're sitting down with members from all around as they share their unique journeys. From first competitions to future careers, hear how DECA is building the leaders of tomorrow today. Get inspired, get connected. This is DECA Dialogues. Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined here today by Josie. Josie, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing absolutely amazing. Thank you
Great.
so much for coming on. And you are from the high school division of DECA. We have our first guest who is a member of our high school DECA division, so to speak, high
Yes.
school division. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. My gosh. Well, Josie, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit? Tell us a little about what you're doing right now, what your role is, and kind of give us a little bit of information about you.
Yeah. So I'm at Wheaton Academy, which is in the Chicago area, and I'm the chapter president for DECA. And then I'm also on the leadership team for the business club. Some of the things like outside of DECA that I do are I like to run. So I was on varsity track my freshman year. I unfortunately had to stop for some other reasons, but I still run a lot. I train and ride and compete with horses, which you'll hear about later with one of my businesses. And then for clubs, I'm in psychology and French club, and then also NHS.
That's awesome. Wow, that is a lot. My gosh, Josie, how do you find the time to do that in a day?
Um, I mean, waking up early, and then I mean, like we're young enough, you and I are young enough where we can
Hmm,
sacrifice some sleep, and it's like it's what it is.
that
And
is
then
very
lots of
true.
coffee.
That is very true. Running on caffeine and hopes and dreams, so to speak.
Yes.
I love that. Well, Josie, I suppose the big question that I have for you right off the bat is how did you get into DECA? Like, how did you know you're involved in all this other stuff? What about DECA like stood out to you that was something like, oh, this is something that I want to do? What does that experience look like?
Yeah. So when I was 8, I started my first business, which is pretty young. And
Mhm.
I like drew people's pets. And then I was in fifth grade when COVID sort of took over the world, and
Mm-hmm.
I started like reselling stuff on eBay. And like that went well. It wasn't like my favorite thing because it wasn't as like entrepreneurial. Like it wasn't like an
Hmm.
actual product you were making and selling.
Yeah.
And then when I was 11, I started a business, and like I mentioned before, I train horses. So when I was 11, though, obviously it was like so like I rode them, yes, but like the model was what I was more doing because of all the COVID restrictions. So
Hmm.
I sold accessories for them, and I ended up making like $10,000, which like when we are like our age, like that's not a ton of money. Thank you.
That's pretty
It's
good.
not like a ton of money now, but when you're 11, like that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I also was able to sell like retail, so I got like into real stores, obviously online, and then also like at vendor markets. And then my eighth grade year, which was unfortunately the last year of my business, I really cared about like the customer service aspect, and I realized if I wanted to do well in high school, I had to like not focus on the business as much and more sort of grades and academics. So the customer service just wasn't going to be as good if like the order time like it took longer. So I stopped that business, but I joined DECA. I found that back to the question you asked. I went to one of those like freshman nights for like the
Hmm.
club fairs, and then there
Yeah.
was like the leader of it who I ended up going to state with the next year, which was like a fun full circle moment. And I was like, I might as well join it. So I just did. The practice my freshman year, it was not really fun. All we did was a lot of just role plays and tests. And I like this is kind of a common thing. Like a lot of members when they first join, they're not like really excited about it.
Hmm.
But then during state, which I was able to do really well, that like was where it like clicked and it was like, okay, like I want to do this club.
Yeah. Yeah, that is awesome. Oh my gosh. Wow. I mean, at such a young age to have that diverse of a portfolio of businesses and whatnot. I mean, what a clear definition of a young entrepreneur. That is
Thank you.
amazing. I
Thank
mean,
you.
your future is looking bright. Just from what I hear, I mean, that is I'm speechless. I mean, that's amazing. I think when I was that age, I was just play it on the playground. You're over here making thousands of dollars. That's wonderful. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
So you kind of got into DECA a little bit, right? And then fast forward to the present day. Kind of how's it going as the president? How'd you get into that role and kind of how is it, reflecting on the couple of months we've been in school, how's it going?
Yeah. So my school is like a private school, so it's a little bit smaller, including
Okay.
staff. It's like 900 people, I think. So including
Okay.
like all the students, all the teachers, it's like 900.
Yeah.
So like it's not small, but it's also not huge.
Hmm.
And a lot of the people in my DECA chapter when I was a freshman were seniors, and so I sort of had to make a choice. Like if the club wanted to continue, I sort of had to step up and like I like leadership's always been fun, but like it was a huge responsibility and
Hmm.
like even more than I like realized at first.
Yeah.
So I signed up and I won the election, which was a lot of fun. But then DECA, I'm not sure, like I don't think the college division has this, but we have something called the Emerging Leader Summit in the
Oh,
summer.
okay.
And I went to that and that was like a lot of fun. And I think my main takeaway is that like the executive officers are real people, and so they like encouraged me, and that was a great experience. And then I also went this year, but I'll talk about that more later. So then I like felt prepared to take the role that I had. And then with my role, so like my sophomore year, it was like the youngest president that our chapters had. So that was a
Wow.
lot of weight on my shoulder.
Well,
But
congratulations on that.
yes, thank
Wow.
you.
Hmm.
So a lot of like public speaking, and like one of the things I like about DECA is like had you told me like when I was coming in, like I would speak in front of 800 people with a memorized speech, like I wouldn't believe you. And
Yeah.
now like I look back and say like, oh yeah, that was no big deal. So like there's a lot of that for DECA. We like give speeches to donors and things like that.
Hmm.
And then also like all the advocacy. So yeah, like donors funding. And
Yeah.
like as president club fairs, so like talking to all the freshmen is what I do. I run all the social media for our chapter. I
Oh,
speak
awesome.
twice a month in front of the business club, which is like a little bit bigger for our school, and then like just membership engagement and planning and leading all the practices.
Wow. Oh my gosh, Josie, that is awesome. That is really amazing. And at such a young age too, you are accomplishing so much. I mean, I tell you what, I'm getting inspired to get off my butt and start doing some stuff, start getting after it. Oh my gosh. So that is, I mean, we're only like a couple of months in, and that is just amazing things that you have been doing so far. And I guess I'd have to ask because it kind of seems like you're pretty organized. You're getting stuff done. You're getting stuff accomplished here. What is your goal with your presidency, or what do you hope to achieve by the end of it? Like you get to the end of it, and you're like, okay, I'm looking back on it, and this is that one thing that I really wanted to do, or many things too.
Yeah. So I think like my favorite part about DECA is the people, which we can obviously talk about later more in depth, but like I like as a club, our school has like all these like clubs and like the relationships at our school are just amazing. And so I think like the relationships that I received my freshman year like really impacted me and like were amazing. And so I think my goal as president is to like have those relationships with the freshmen or like
Mm,
any of the underclassmen, which I'm a junior, so like I just was an underclassman, but
hmm.
like basically everyone in the group. I think later this year, like for the end of the year, I'm going to try to like hand write a letter for every member, which is going to be a lot. But then I think the main goal is obviously to increase membership. So
Hmm.
that actually did happen this year. We've had our largest membership ever,
Wow.
which I wish I could give you like a specific number, but we're still collecting fees. So I'll let you know when I had that
Yeah,
number.
absolutely.
But so that's like one of the things I really wanted to do. And then also Illinois has this thing called iConnect, which is like community service and like chapter outreach. So I'm going to start doing that for this year. And then obviously the chapter campaigns through like DECA Inc. So we're going to do like the entrepreneurship one and then the community service one.
Okay. Wow. Congratulations on
Thank you.
the on that. That is wonderful. I
Thank
mean,
you.
wow, that's amazing. I really like those points that you made. That is wonderful. And I completely agree. DECA is a great opportunity both in the high school and even over here in the collegiate
Yes.
division to be able to network with different people and
Yeah.
whatnot. And that's such a neat idea with the letters. Oh my gosh, what a great way to create a personalized experience.
Yeah.
That is truly a very neat idea. Now, I have to ask you, you kind of, we learned a little bit about the past and the present, and now kind of what does the future look like, or at least what is something that you'd hope to get into, both DECA and then just in your life after high
Yeah.
school.
So obviously for like DECA, everyone wants glass. But I've kind of like yes, I really want that, but also like I just want to leave like an impact like on the
Mm-hmm.
students. And that
Mm-hmm.
sounds cliche, but like the seniors my freshman year, like even the ones I went to ICDC with or like just the ones I hung out with, like they really impacted me, and like they showed like a good balance between like being really high achieving and also being like a fun person to be with. So like I
Hmm.
hope I can be that just in the future for everyone.
Hmm.
And then as far as college goes, so I'm or like my future or whatever, I'm still a junior, so I still have my entire senior year. So I'm obviously not committed yet to a college.
Hmm.
But I would like to major in either finance or business management. I think finance like would be honestly what I'm gonna end up doing, but I just like don't really like math classes. Like they're
Mm.
fine, but like do I really want to do that? Like for my next 4 years? Not really. But like the business management, I think covers a lot of aspects. And
Yeah.
then like my freshman year, I won second place in state for principles of business management administration. So like I had that background.
Yeah.
And then I think my dad has a business. I think I'm gonna like take that over, which he does wealth management, which is where the finance degree would be helpful.
Hmm.
So just taking over and like a family business, it's really fun.
Yeah, that is awesome. That is very awesome. And I agree with you a little bit. Math is not it's just not my favorite. I
Yeah.
would say, I'm bad at it, but I'd also say I'm no Albert Einstein and
Right.
you
Yeah, me
know,
too.
right, it's
Yeah.
not, the idea of getting up at 8 a.m. and being in a math class is like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's still you gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Yeah.
And no, I think that's amazing. It's such a junior in high school to have an idea. And again, you don't have to have it figured out. I mean, even
Right.
in even in college and even adults too. I mean, nobody ever really has it figured out. But to
Right.
have that plan and to have that vision is a really inspiring and really lucky thing that you have. And to be
Thank you.
an entrepreneurial, not just like of one business, but be able to try and fail and succeed at multiple different things is such a great experience to have. And I think, I mean, that's I'm still blown away by that. My gosh, you're making thousands of dollars at
Mhm.
such a young age. I don't think I got my first paycheck till I was like 16, maybe. My
Mhm.
gosh, that is
Yeah.
awesome.
Thank
Now,
you.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Now, Josie, kind of asking here a little bit because you are the first the high schooler that we have on the DECA Dialogues. Do you plan to, if or when you go to a college, do you plan to continue in Collegiate DECA? Is that something that you would hope to do?
Yeah, I think it's gonna depend.
Hmm.
I want to, like I do want to. That's like one of my goals. I would probably have to start a chapter,
Mm.
but honestly, like one of the things when I am looking to like to apply to colleges is like, do they have DECA? And obviously, like, and you would know this more than I would, but like the different like levels, like some or some colleges, their chapters are very developed, and then
Mm-hmm.
some of them like it's their first year. So
Yeah.
like I could definitely help. So I do think I am gonna continue with DECA in college.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's really lovely to hear. Collegiate DECA would love to have you. That's all I can say. Collegiate DECA would be,
It'd be a lot of fun.
it would be, it would be.
Would you be able to share like with the high school viewers? Like I know I have a lot of friends in high school. Can you
Yeah,
share like some of the differences for like collegiate DECA? I know it's a lot
absolutely.
smaller, but like some of like the main, yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to talk on that the best I can here. I might miss out some key details, so I apologize if I do. But no, it's like, there's a lot of similarities. When it
Mhm.
comes down to it, there's a lot of similarities, right? You got the competition, you got the networking aspect, you got the
Yes.
traveling aspect, all the different parts of it that make it really hard to cram into a little elevator pitch
Right.
to talk to people about, right? But I'd say collegiately, I mean, there's just a lot of opportunity with the fact that you are dealing with college students who
Right.
are most likely going to go into an industry after
Yes.
they're done. So you got a lot of industry professionals who are kind of hungry for some new recruits, or hungry for those determined
Yeah.
individuals.
Okay.
And you also just kind of learn, I suppose, really dedication. I'd say, high school, it has a lot of members, but at least in my experience, obviously, when you're in high school, there's some members who, might not take it, as seriously, so to
Right.
speak.
Yeah.
Obviously, you are the exact opposite of that, as
Mhm.
you are, out here absolutely crushing it. But, I mean, there are most likely are probably some members who are in it just to have, that networking aspect, or just have
Right.
a certain aspect of it, which is amazing. But
Yes.
I do see collegiately a lot of people who are like, okay, I have that determination because,
Right.
right after this, again, they're going right into something.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
And you had talked about the some was it a summit that you had in the summer?
Yes.
It was
The Emerging Leader Summit. Yeah.
Bridge, yes, yes. We have something a little bit similar, I think. We're going to Tampa, Florida for the Engage
Oh, nice.
conference, I
Nice.
believe almost in a week from now, almost in a week from
Wow.
now.
Okay, so coming up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
coming up pretty quick. But that's another like a type of thing. Like they do conferences and have
Right.
opportunity for you to meet with people and
Right.
network and better your skills and whatnot. But like I said, I mean, there's really when you boil down, there's a lot of similarities. There's a lot of
Right. Yeah.
similarities, but I mean, as you move on, you're dealing with adults or you're dealing with people who are you're transforming into that young adult or taking
Right.
that next
Okay.
step toward that adult life, so to speak, if that helps a little bit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
again, I most likely probably leaving out there's some
No,
important
that makes
information out
sense. Yeah,
there.
I would definitely agree. Like a lot of even people in my chapter are just doing it because it's fun
Mhm.
and like for the trips and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
That's a good question. That's a good question. Now, Josie, as we kind of wind down here a little bit, I'd like to give you the floor for anything that you'd like to say. You have people listening, you have people viewing. Is there anything that you want to say to anybody, DECA member or not? The floor is yours.
Yeah, I would say, and this is gonna sound cliche, but definitely join DECA. The vice president and president that I had my freshman year, none of them are in business at all right now. So
Mm,
they're like lawyers and doctors.
mm,
So you don't like common misconception is like in order to be in DECA, you have to like own a business or like start a business, present about a business.
mm,
But
mhm,
that's really not true.
mhm,
You obviously can like through the prepared events, but like you can truly like come into this knowing absolutely nothing about business and learn with your teammates and like make friends. And then like you can go into whatever career you want. So like in the business principles class that I took my freshman year, the role plays that we do in DECA and like compared to like a job interview, like that you might like go to an employer, like work at a restaurant, they're so similar. And
mhm,
it really like teaches you to be prepared and to like come up with stuff on the spot. And like being able to speak for 10 minutes with only 10 minutes of preparation, that's like how it is for the high school division. That's
mhm.
something that you really can't get in like any other club.
Yeah.
A lot of the like CTSOs or those sort of things, they definitely have preparation like that. But I'm obviously biased, but I do think DECA does it the best because
Mhm,
it's like a good mix of being fun and then you're also like preparing. And like I was reading, so like I think one of my biggest tips for members who are competing is to like find a book, like a physical book about your topic that you're competing in. And I was reading one like recently, and there was like something called like total quality management, and
mhm.
that was like the like connection, like hey, I already know what that is because I did DECA, and
Yeah.
like there's just like countless things like that where when you go into college or like your first career, even in like your first job at like a restaurant, you're gonna see like interacting with like adults, people you don't know, public speaking, like all of that comes naturally and it's like fun and easy, which
Mhm,
is like my favorite thing about DECA.
mhm. That is wonderful, Josie. Thank you so much. Those are great. Those are great words and great remarks that I think are very, very true. Very true, both in high school and in collegiate as well. Just all around. I mean, just join DECA. There's so many benefits to it. So many
Yeah.
benefits to it. So it's so wonderful. So thank you so much for touching
Thank
in
you.
on that, and thank you for coming on and giving little insights about what it's like over in the high school division, how it's going over there. Very, very honored to have you be our
Yes.
first
Thank you.
guest from the high school division. So
A
that is
lot of fun.
amazing. Thank you, thank you. And to everybody watching, please like, please share. Let's comment if you want. I love to respond to comments. And let's get connected. Let's get inspired. All right. This is the DECA Dialogues. This is what it's all about. Stories from all around. So it's wonderful. So thank you again to everybody
Yes.
who,
Thank
who's
you so
watching
much.
and listening. Thank you, thank you. And from me and Josie, have a great rest of your day.
Bye.